I was
Hello.
going to say, I should read. No.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Quill and Sword. Here, we play Dungeons and Dragons, and we do it in a dark fantasy setting. If dark fantasy and horror vibes aren't your jam, this is your warning to go elsewhere.
What
We love some Syrinscape around here. We use that for our sound effects and music and whatnot. And we are going to do a little bit of a recap here on everybody and see what's going on. Obviously, we have a Robin back, and they are better, and we are very thrilled about this. So, hello. Three.
I'm good.
That is going to be Vera, Nathaniel. So,
hey, yo, chill out over there. You're so loud.
I don't remember how things started. I only remember how they ended. Okay. I remember now. So initially we had to unsummon Steve because Steve was immediately corrupted. And then like we had to pull the cart. We ran into something, didn't we? I'm trying to remember that now. I can't remember what we ran into. Oh, I have a sword hilt that talks to me now. So I've got Charlie.
Yep.
Which I'm still trying to sort that out completely. But that's about all I can remember. Marissa, you got anything?
Yes. Okay. So, before we left the village situation, it's really more of a situation. At this point, we were in the blacksmith's smithy / cottage. We did invade his home as well. And we found out that the anvil was, it had like the rune marks that were magical in some capacity. I can't remember exactly how. But also, Anu spilt some potions and turned into a minotaur, a male minotaur.
I knew there was a minotaur. I just couldn't remember how that happened.
Right. And Anu was actually the one that led the cart home because we didn't have Steve. We had to old yeller our Steve. So on that, I'm going to pass it off to Anu.
I meant to watch this episode, but I got distracted. I'm sorry, where did you leave off?
So you, as a minotaur, pulling our wagon back to the elven village from the enchanted other village that we were in.
Okay, right. Oh, and then when we got back to the village, there was some suspicious stuff going around, and we were shuffled away to hide out because we were being chased by, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. A wendigo. And I would have let Wisp fit away. Wisp, wait, I'm sorry, did you go?
I started, but the thing is, Robin wasn't here from the end, so I feel like Steven needs to wrap up the tail end then.
Okay, so they did defeat the Wendigo. They defeated the Wendigo, and then they defeated the Wendigo after they found out that the elf guards are after them for some reason that they still don't know. And there was implications made that the people who were sick and are now missing were moved elsewhere or had something happen to them. And that is where we are going to go for our intro.
video on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I know.
Wow.
I've seen it.
So yes, I got us back because of our intro. So we were talking about Jessie Gender. She's great. She has
Right.
awesome content. If you don't know who Jessie Gender is on YouTube, what are you doing with your life? Like seriously. I don't think she even knows that we do this, but yes.
I think I've plugged it once or twice on the podcast that I do with her. She's probably at least heard of it.
Yes, she has amazing content. I'm glad that you plugged it to somebody who otherwise would not know anything about this. That's very kind of you. Anyway, so we're going to get into the things. I'm going to start up the music here. And you guys are standing in the back area of a sectioned off market tent, right? The merchant's tent of Kate.
Yes.
And there is a wendigo body that starts changing and reverting as ash sort of flecks away into the wind and dissipates as the body reverts into an elf.
Damn it. I was going to say, how quickly is it doing that? But it sounds like it's already done.
Yep. Yeah, it was a very fast process. It was basically a cloud of dust. Shh, and now there's just a dead elf with all of the wounds that you guys inflicted. And they're just lying there. And you hear the commotion in the medical tent stop. Masquerade, you actually just beat up a bunch of elvish guards who were trying to overtake you and your friends. You held them off so that way they could escape and go who knows where, but you handled them pretty well, actually. Like you're pretty high leveled. You're a good adventurer. You are experienced here. So,
Threw some punches.
and I'm gonna assume that you are perceptive enough to generally figure out that they went into the merchant's tent.
Cool. Well, then I'm gonna go there.
Okay. So you walk into this tent, and it's got like a little bedroll kind of off to the side. There's a small table that collapses. There's a shelf that also is collapsible, has a few odds and ends on it. And you see this body lying there now.
The
Just
hell,
like
I
an
leave you guys
elf.
for 15 minutes and you guys do a murder?
No, the Wendigo, and it was big, and then it was a
Something's
thing.
afoot. Something is afoot. We don't know what yet, but yes, it was a thing.
I'm gonna like peek back outside to see how close we are and getting walked in on with this body in the floor.
So it doesn't sound like many people are walking toward you right now. Everything is kind of almost eerily silent, actually.
Well,
Way to make me not feel like we're lucky right now that oh,
we can either do something about this body or we can get ourselves scarce before somebody else finds it.
I wouldn't know where we could safely stash it. I'm thinking we should bail.
Anu?
I don't have any. It's not like we have anything to hide it with either. So fleeing sounds like the best option.
So hold on.
Nim, you
Since
on board with this?
Absolutely. I think we need to get out of here. Also, just, I'm not advocating for theft by any means, but we are in the merchant's tent and they have put us through some significant hardship and we were expecting payment and it appears that we were not given all the information due to us. So I'm just wondering if perhaps as, compensation, we take some things and then we run really fast.
If Nim is the one advocating the 5-finger discount, I think we have no choice but to do it.
We earned it.
we did. Stephen, before we get into that though, question. What is the current state of Charlie? That blade that had kind of formed, is that appearing to be permanent? Does that retract? What's the deal?
It is permanent.
It is permanent.
Yep.
Is there a hilt? I'm sorry, not a hilt. Is there a sheath in here that he would fit?
Go
'Cause
ahead
I
and
did-
make an investigation roll.
Don't really want to walk around with an unsheathed sword, but I'm not putting him down because this is awesome. All right. Investigation. 14.
14. Okay, so you do in fact find a sheath for Charlie. It actually has room for him to grow too.
Oh, nice. I'm definitely snatching that. So then the other question is, what is that? I know the sort of stuff we were shown when we were here, when the merchant was here. Is that still what's all out?
So you find that a lot of the stuff seems to be packed up from the front, and the back almost seems like the person left very quickly.
So what is there to walk away with?
So let me actually make a roll to check and see what we got. Most of it is mundane equipment, non-magical fare, things like different types of food rations like breads, cheeses, hardtack, jerky, that sort of stuff. You find
that's Nim's department.
Some
Nim is
tack
gonna just
for
grab
horses,
all of that.
tack and barding. You find some. You find a few sacks. Everyone can go ahead and give me a perception or investigation roll to see what you can find. But so far, you're just sifting through a lot of these goods, and as you're shuffling through clothing and half-made clothing and all sorts of weird stuff.
18.
18 as well.
18.
Did you say 18 as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. So...
Oh, I am lagging hard. What? It's okay. Looks like I'm using hand dice. What is
Hand
going
dice,
on?
I love that.
We gotta go analog.
So, my dice is still rolling on D&D behind. There it is,
Oh, man.
22.
22. Okay. So we'll start with a new and then work ourselves counterclockwise. As far as I can see on the stream and on my screen. So anew, as you're digging through all of this, you find what looks like there's this jewelry that is kind of renowned in the Elvish community that specifically goes on the tip of your ear. And it's basically filigree for the tip of your ear, and then it usually connects to a piercing somewhere else on the ear. And so you find one of these. But what's interesting about it is it has a sort of glimmer to it, an unnatural sheen, that it's maybe actually something a little more than mundane. You can roll an Arcana check for me if you want to determine what it is.
Okay. Arcana. All right. $14.
14. Okay, so as you sort of turn this thing over in your fingers and you sort of almost hear this little bit of a ping, like a bell or a chime in just the reverberation of it though, in the back of your ear. And as you look at it, you realize this is one half of a pair of earpieces like this that can be used to communicate with one another. Wisp, you find another such earpiece. And while your ears are pointed, they are a little more like thick because you're a fawn, so it's a little more like deerish almost. But you could theoretically get this on if you wanted.
So, I'm going to assume that I see a new has found one too, and I'll be like, "Hey, they match."
Wait, does mine fit on my ear?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have to press a button to say talk?
Nope.
Testing?
You just choose to do it.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Hey, I'm sort of confused. Look, I'll like see if I can finagle it onto an ear.
And Wisp, if you want, you can roll an Arcana check about this too.
Ooh. 25.
25. This is a special sending piece that can cast sending beyond dimensional borders.
You planning on separating us by dimension?
I mean, it's
Siren?
not like it hasn't happened before.
Fair. Fair.
Do not. Like,
Nim,
yes.
as you are digging through, you find a skein of cloth. This cloth is not made into anything right now, but there's a good hefty amount of it. And it has these threads interwoven. They look almost spider silky in the way they catch the light, so that the dress actually shifts between blue and green depending on how you catch it with light and sunlight. And what's interesting about this fabric, it's stretchy and light, but it feels like as you pull it, it doesn't tear really easily. It doesn't, in fact, this would probably be pretty difficult to make into a thing, but what you have found is the first of a series of, I don't want to say ingredients because that's not the right word, but a series of items that you would need to craft clothing that gives a bonus to armor class.
Ooh.
So,
Taking it.
yeah, you can find a spider silk skein and masquerade. As you are searching through things, you find, it looks like an old, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. It is a very old, but not tattered, just very dusty rug. And this rug, it can only fit like maybe 2 people's worth on it. But it starts to move a little bit in your hands.
I'm gonna spread it out and stand on it and see if it flies.
You do, and it does.
I'm just going to sit crisscross on this rug, and I am not walking for the rest of this adventure.
Crisscross applesauce.
So yes, you guys now have a floating rug. And what's interesting about this rug is it's dirty, it's matted, it's got some problems that, like, you know, craftsmanship wise people might identify as flaws, but gives it a little character. And as you
Really ties the room together.
As you interact with it, you notice it almost has a mind of its own a little bit as it flies around and flits.
I pat the rug like I am proud of it for being a good boy.
And it pats your knee back.
Mask is incredibly delighted. I proceed to offer a hand to Nim.
And Nim's like, ooh, and takes their hand.
It's gonna get you onto this rug. You can ride it with me. Very exciting.
You guys have a flying carpet. It's in a big flying carpet. It can only hold 2 of you at a time. But you have a flying carpet.
Cool.
Before we leave, I also want to, you said that there was hardtack and things like that. Nim grabs a couple of things, but also amongst the horse supplies and whatnot, Nim finds just, you know, like a nice bridle, and she stashes it away because she wants to give it to Steve. So,
Okay.
her sweet little boy.
Oh yes, her sweet little boy that's currently corrupted.
No, we uncorrupted it, didn't we?
Nope, you just got out of the corruption area.
We unsummoned him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a different issue.
We're gonna fix him. Mama's baby.
So if we're done,
It's probably time to run.
yeah.
Not for me, I'm on a carpet. But also, I'm the slowest player, so.
This is true.
Yeah.
You absolutely should be on the carpet.
Pretty much the fastest. Let's go.
So, is there a back way out?
There is. You guys came in through it.
And since Mass caught up with us that way, they weren't pursued.
Right. They weren't pursued because Masquerade, you left about 4 guards total, just unconscious in the medical tent.
I'm just trying to figure out whether going out the front or the back is more likely to get us spotted.
So, make a perception check. Anyone else can too.
Did you roll
12.
for masks to beat up the guards? Was there
13?
a chance that we had to go back and get them?
There was a chance that you'd have to go back and get them, but that chance was based on if Robin was able to attend.
Sorry.
I'm being honest.
You said perception, right?
Yes.
16.
16.
That's good.
So, what did Wisp get?
12.
12. So both Wisp, you could swear this must be wrong. You don't hear movement of people outside the tent. You don't hear anything outside the tent, and Anu, you can then confirm that because you also don't hear anything outside the tent. Just the standard noises of the forest.
Okay. I want to use invisibility and go check.
Okay, you can do that. So how does it look
Yay.
when you cast invisibility?
I like to shimmer, disappear.
Okay. So you watch as flecks of glitter just wash over Anu's form and she fades from existence. Anu, where are you going?
I'm just going to check the perimeters.
Okay. So when you exit the tent, the first thing you'll notice is that aside from those guards, one of whose arm is still hanging out of the medical tent up the way, you don't see anyone in the village at all. No movement. You also don't see any of their animals or livestock. And as you begin to investigate the town, you realize that it seems like a lot of people removed their important possessions, but this camp was very hastily broken and left.
Stephen, remind me, wasn't this empty when we got back initially?
No. Or when you got back this time.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
I know we didn't take note because I kind of beelined it for the medical tent.
Yeah,
but...
no. And the medical tent was kind of on the outskirts, so you might not have readily noticed until now anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, it's this time when you came back, it was kind of barren.
So I want to use the earpiece.
Okay.
Be like, Anu, is it safe for us to come out or what?
Creepily, yes.
Great. So I'll step on out the front.
So Anu, you continue going through the town and you start seeing signs of ruin. Things like carts being broken, tarps hanging loose or torn, slash marks in wagon sides. You see one of their one of these cat sort of creatures that they use for their pulling their carts and things seems to have been eviscerated and kind of piled into one of these torn up tents, like limbs severed and everything.
That's gross.
Wisp, from about 30 feet that way, you just hear, "That's gross." From nothing.
So I'm just trying to figure out what we should do from here because if I'll be completely honest, under normal circumstances, I would say, well, they bailed, let's bail too. Except if we're trying to help sort out what's going on in this forest so Argent will help get us back, then I'm not sure how viable an option that is.
Oh my god, we need more ghost whispers.
Oh, I'm gonna put a hand on the hilt. Charlie, remind me, are you able to perceive and see what's going on here?
Oh, well, I can see if I see through your eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll keep a hand on you for a bit then, so you can get a sense of what's going on.
All right, so he will look around through your eyes and what happened here?
Not sure yet.
It looks like some kind of monster. Is it like that other one we just fought?
I don't know, because I think there were only 2 of those. But I don't know.
Well, looks like that either that one had a field day with the town and then came for you guys, or alternatively, it's more than one.
More likely that second one, given that the one we took on wasn't even transformed into monster form until it came upon us. So, oh boy. Are there any sort of tracks or anything, Stephen? Anything that might indicate a direction where something came from or went to?
You do see there are footprints that are rather massive that look very similar to the Wendigos. You also see other footprints throughout. Occasionally, you'll now notice there is maybe a blood smear here or there along the buildings.
Do the large prints, is there any point where it looks like they break off in a direction, or is it just too chaotic to make sense of that?
Make a survival check. Alternatively, you can assist someone else with survival if you think someone else is better at it.
I would rather assist Nim.
Do
Okay.
it.
23.
23. So, Nim, you notice that these large footprints, while they are a little bit haphazard and all over the place just by virtue of the fact that something chaotic went down here, you also do notice that it looks like the prints sort of generally start funneling into a singular direction, much like how you would see a wolf pack do just after they had gone after a herd of baby deer or something.
So it's like big footprints that funnel down into one.
That funnel down into a group, but they all went the same direction, as far as you can tell.
Like a pack of wendigos, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Based on their tracks and your really good roll, you can tell there's at least a dozen.
All right, gang. Here's what's happening. There's at least a dozen of these big old creatures going that direction. Every cell and molecule in my body says let's go the other way.
We can't take a dozen of these things.
No.
Unless, I mean, you don't think there's anything left at this camp, do you? I mean, it doesn't seem like the Wendigos are capable of packing items. Perhaps there's something that we could use to take them? Or how do you suppose they deal with fire, and could we make enough of it?
That's
What's gotten into you today?
I am tired of this nonsense. We have more work to do and they just keep multiplying and I don't know what's happening and they're very mean and I'm tired and we have to get back to Steve and there's just so many things and I feel as if they are dividing our focus and taking our time and resources, and so if we burn them all, we can get back to the matter at hand.
I start looking for something to make a copious amount of fire with.
So, Steve, remind me, when we were in the medical tent, were was there anybody still in it, like
Mm-hmm.
the patients, or were they all gone?
The woman who was caring for them was in there, and she started to tell you guys something, if you remember, and then the guards sort of interrupted. Masquerade, during your fight, she was knocked out.
So
Take her with us.
wait a minute. How far from where we are right now is the medical tent?
The medical tent is just on the fringe of camp.
I want to poke my head in there. Are they all still there, or are they all gone?
So you notice that a lot of the guards are still there.
All right, the guard's fine. I'm asking about the patients.
The patients are gone. They were gone when you first found her.
Crap. That's what I was afraid of.
You do notice she is gone now.
Ah!
Masquerade, you were looking for copious
hold
amounts
on.
of fire thing.
I'm going to spit at the knocked out guards and just be like, you guys suck at your job. And leave them.
Masquerade, perception.
Yes.
And Wisp, as
17.
you do that, so because these two things kind of happen in tandem, what you're experiencing and what Wisp or what Masquerade is experiencing. So Masquerade, you find what looks like it's a carving. It's definitely a carving. It is about the size of your forearm, and it's among a bunch of booze and food, and it looks like this is almost set up to be a sort of shrine. And the carving looks like an elf man, but has a very long beard that goes almost to the ground. He's wearing robes made of various furs just kind of wrapped around his body and held together with belts and things like that. And you see he has a staff that looks to be made of a very large bone that he carries. Wisp,
I see.
you find the same imagery on a necklace on one of these guards.
Huh. Just on one of them?
Yep, just one of them.
I don't know what that is, do I?
Make a religion check.
I was going to say, I've got decent score in that. 12.
12. So you would at least recognize the imagery for what it is. Maybe Sorrel, maybe Sorrel. I've heard different pronunciations. But he is the god of revenge among the Elvish faith.
Great. All right. I'll just leave them and head back.
Okay.
Rejoin.
When you find me, I have that exact same thing in my hand, trying to figure out what I'm looking at.
Elvish god of revenge. One of the guards had it on a necklace, too.
Oh, wonderful.
And Anu, you can see Masquerade actually find and start carrying away this statue.
I'm not going to take
Of
it far. I'm
Sorrel.
just standing where I found it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they're actually standing at a shrine of Sorrel.
Is it a bad thing to take the statue away?
Only in so much as it would be a bad thing to take a statue away from any shrine of a culture that you weren't a part of.
Like I said, I'm standing where I found it.
So yeah, right now they're just examining it, it looks like.
Oh, okay.
So,
Where's that little kid at? Maybe he can explain what's going on more.
what, Argent, you mean?
Yeah.
Keep getting her all wrapped up in her nonsense.
Yeah, I also don't know how to summon them here.
Should I shake some tree branches, do you think? And Nim picks up some twigs. No, that doesn't. No, okay. Well, that's fine. Where are we on the fire idea?
I examined the statue.
Okay. Make a religion check for me.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
Or perception.
Better.
Depends on what you want to perceive. Or what you want to learn.
Oh, I guess the history of it.
Okay. So religion.
Alright. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. This statue has multiple notches made in it, and you know that a common practice of this faith is whenever you carry out vengeance on someone, you are expected to make a notch in the local statue or the statue that you are nearest to as a means of representing the vengeance you carried out and its permanence. And the hope, the prayer that goes along with this is that Sorrel will honor your vengeance as just and not recompense you 10 times over.
Is there... so there's a god of revenge and then a statue of vengeance.
This one is covered in notches.
Oh my god.
So I take it that they didn't find the cause to be just.
See, yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to... For how many notches that has, that will probably account for the village. And if this was an overstep, that might explain why we're dealing with what we're dealing with. Well, that maybe explains how we got here. Doesn't tell us how the hell to deal with it.
You know who didn't screw up and murder a bunch of people? Argent.
If I knew how to get them here, I'd do something, but I'm just gonna call Argent's name out, like,
Okay.
just for the hell of it.
Okay. So, give me Arcana, Religion, Nature. One of those.
Okay. 16 on Arcana.
Okay. So, how are you calling for Argent?
Almost in a... it's not like a yell, so it's almost like a musical call. It kind of, I'm elongating the sounds of it and sort of oscillating it to get it to carry, but to also give it a little musicality to try and make it sound more appealing.
Okay. All right. When you do that, the wind starts picking up and leaves start just swirling into the camp. And it's weird because there wasn't a wind before, and mist starts roiling in from around the encampment until you start seeing aspects of the mist sort of collecting together and forming into these silvery white wolves. And then stepping out from the shadows beyond the mist, right in front of you, is a dire wolf standing about 10 feet tall. And the dire wolf envelops in mist, and the mist starts kind of washing the wolf away, and pretty soon you see a little 10-year-old girl standing in front of you.
Feeling all right?
better now that I'm not in that very stupid place.
So we think we might know what has happened. We don't know exactly how to deal with it.
So what's happened? Where are all the people? There were people here before. They were less stupid than other people.
Well, you say that. You might not still feel that after I get through this. So I think what happened was that for whatever reason, justified, maybe not, I don't know. But the elves here sought vengeance against the stupid people in the village that you didn't want to be in. And part of that means coming here afterwards and putting a notch on this, which is a symbol of their god of vengeance. And they have to give a prayer that their vengeance was righteous and justified. I think that prayer was rejected. And that is kicking off what is going wrong here.
Well, if the prayer was rejected, that probably means their god didn't like what they heard.
But the god wouldn't have caused, like, that crazy magic nonsense in the woods, right?
Well, depends on the god, depends on the magic. You see, mortals are bound by rules when it comes to their magic. I'm bound by rules when it comes to my magic. But not all creatures are bound by rules when it comes to magic. Magic is a very free-flowing thing. And if these mortals tapped into a magic that they were never meant to use, well, I think you could probably do the math from there, right?
Yeah. So there are creatures now. There's probably about a dozen of them. And they are big, and they are dangerous, and they are more than we would be able to deal with. And I don't think it would be wise for you to try and do anything with them either, because they eat magic.
Sounds to me like they're cursed. And that means you need to lift the curse.
See, the problem is I can, but like only once a day. I can't do 12.
Then sounds like you need to find where the curse was made.
Do we still think that might have to do with the original healers we were looking for in the first place? Maybe if we picked up that path again, we might find the proper origin of this? It's the best lead I've got because I don't want to follow those things into the woods and try and take them on.
No. Do we think that it's back at that little village where, I mean,
no,
if anything was cursed?
Yeah, but that's not what I'm thinking, because you remember originally we were looking for where the healer had disappeared from. I think they're the ones who brought this down, and that town may have been the target, but I don't think that's where they did their stuff at.
Oh.
I think if we go back to our original plan, what we were originally doing, and go back on the trail of wherever they went to do whatever it is they did, I think we might actually have better luck at finding the beginnings of this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sounds to me like someone plotted a thing in secret. Where do most mortals go when they want to plot things in secret?
To the underground.
The bathroom?
I suppose it depends on how long you plan to plot.
Well, generally speaking, in my experience, mortals like to plot secret things in secret places.
That's kind of where my head's at too, because we had initially found that map that theoretically just the healers could use. So if they were going to plan and execute something where they weren't going to be found, that's probably where it would have been. Do we still have that map, by the way, Stephen?
You do have that map.
Yay!
Forgot about that map.
It's like, it looks like a little spherical puzzle box.
Oh,
and
that's
you
right.
kind of have to unlock it to figure it out. Now, if you remember from last time, you were looking specifically where they were, right?
Yes, that's true.
It's a magic map, she says. Takes you
So we
to...
gotta look where they were.
Well, because we're not going to see where they are now because they're dead.
They did.
So now it's a question of where they started.
Well, then I guess if you've got a map and you've got a direction, do you need anything else from me?
No, I think you've given us plenty. Thank you.
You're welcome. I would really appreciate not having this sickness everywhere in my forest, because my forest was a very happy place until everyone turned stupid. These people used to be less stupid, but now it's like they just hate everybody.
Well, we're going to do what we can. Thank you.
Thank you. And here, and she will hand you a silver penny whistle.
All right.
You can use that to call me next time.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Add that to my inventory. Any particular type of music you like to be called with?
Something that comes from you.
I can do that.
That sounds dirty.
Depends on my mood.
And then she kind of looks at Masquerade and Nim, and it's almost like she's looking at you for the first time, like really looking at you.
Yes, dear.
Oh. You're interesting.
Thank you.
I think you might be safe from it.
Oh. Oh, is this?
You.
Oh. And then
Ah.
I elbow mask. Oh.
I'm following.
Your people are immune to the old magics. Part of
Huh.
an old deal.
What do you know about that? We heard somebody hinting at it before.
I don't know much, but what I know from a friend. A very old friend.
Can we know this friend?
If you want to travel to the center of the forest and risk being judged unworthy.
Oh,
Sounds like that's a later adventure.
Yeah.
He's not stupid, but he's mean.
I mean, so are you, and we clearly have a repertoire.
Nice doesn't necessarily mean good, and mean doesn't necessarily mean bad.
Exactly. See, maybe you're not stupid.
Of course I'm not stupid. I'm Masquerade.
I'm Nim.
So, I do need to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
what do you plan to do when you find the place they made the plot?
I
Undo
look
it?
at Wisp.
I don't know yet. I need to I need to see it. I need to get a sense of it, and maybe I'll know then.
That is precisely what I was thinking as well.
Be careful, because when you deal with old magic, it doesn't work with rules. At least not the ones you're used to.
I will keep that in mind.
All right. Well, then I'll be off. And she lets out this howl, and when she does, it echoes and turns into this tritone howl as she turns back into the dire wolf, and she and the other wolves that you realize have been steadily growing in number surrounding you vanish back into the mists, running off. The mist roils back, and the wind stops.
Well, that's definitely an entrance and an exit.
Well, I suppose we should look at the map. The puzzle, the sphere, the thing. It's hard to call it a map in its current state.
All right. So I guess we'll get that out again. Who has it? I actually don't know.
I don't
think
know.
I do.
I know as a party we have it.
As a party you have it. We'll say Wisp has it because you were wanting it at this point, so
all right.
Whoever had it could have produced it, or you could have it.
So is it still showing anything at all, or has it like completely kind of closed up?
It's closed up.
Okay. So I'll cast Healing Word on it again.
Okay. And when you do, you feel this prompt. Now that you kind of know what you're doing, it feels almost like a tugging desire. But this desire is a question. The desire is a question coming from the orb. As it starts to open, you feel it's not words. It's not sounds. It's just a feeling. Where do you want to see?
I want to see where the sickness came from.
And you see the puzzle box twists and these mechanical whirring and different clicks come through, and it opens up and you see the projection all around you of the forest. And it's bigger this time. And it's almost like you're at one of those 3D VR rides from Six Flags from back in the day, where you start riding it and you go to the campsite you're in currently, and you see you guys standing there. And then it sort of shifts the entire plane. And boom, and you go inside a hole that looks like it's going into a tree root system, like in the trunk of a tree. And it looks like there's a stairway, and you start going through these caverns, and there are these jutting colored crystals all through the cavern, most of them yellow in color. And you start seeing this liquid yellow, might be magma, might be water, you're not sure, pouring in waterfalls and droves, and this mist roiling up from it. And as you ride this visual journey, you land in what looks like a very similar layout, but on a grand scale, of the shrine where you found that statue of Sorrel.
God damn it, Steven.
But there is no statue of Sorrel. There is instead a statue of what looks like a large snake centipede creature with a flower mouth.
God damn it, Steven.
Oh, they were praying to the wrong god.
Well, that would do it.
And then the entire thing just and closes back, and the puzzle box whirs and clicks a little bit, spins a couple times, and then and it closes up on its own.
There's always more. All right. Who's ready to start hoofing it, or sitting and relaxing on a rug?
I suppose we are.
Yeah. So, how easily can we pick the path based off what we just saw, based off that guided tour?
Very easily. It's only about 250 feet from the camp.
Well, that makes that very easy.
It's actually, you just go behind the tent where the lore master lived, and there's just this large tree that you never would have seen if you weren't looking for it because of the thick brush surrounding it. And there is just a hole right there in the base of the tree.
How bad's the drop?
The drop appears to be not one at all, but instead there is a staircase here, hewn into the earth.
Any light down there?
Nope. Not that you can see right now.
I'll send some dancing lights and I'll head.
All right. So the dancing lights guide your path. You see some of the stairs are uneven, so it's a little bit of a trek. The roots of the trees sort of grow over sections to make it a journey to get down. But because you have light, you don't have to make rolls to not trip and fall into
Yay!
the pool that waits at the base as you come out from the core tunnel. It's basically a spiral for about maybe 30 feet down, and then suddenly it opens up into this cavern, and you see the stairway stops off rather suddenly and spirals around this tree root all the way down to a base. But if you would have fallen off that ledge, there is a pool of this yellow down below, and as you enter this room, you see there are pools of yellow everywhere, and it's green. It's like yellow green right now, but it is definitely solidly like a yellow green as opposed to more green than yellow. And
somebody needs to hydrate.
And it smells like bleach down here, like almost overwhelmingly so, and you feel like your eyebrows might burn off. And you realize that these are acidic.
Lovely. I'm assuming we can navigate around them?
Mm-hmm. You can easily get to the base. Once you get down below, though, you realize that there is this layer of mist that's yellow in hue that's just sort of bubbling up, seeping up from these pools. And it just envelops the air and makes it difficult to breathe.
Of course it does. I want to use, as I go, I want to use prestidigitation to kind of like light breeze myself a little pocket of fresh air.
Okay, you can absolutely do that. How is everyone else dealing with the fumes?
I have a mask over my face already.
Yeah, so you're pretty good. You do notice, Masquerade, though, that you feel it almost like, just like you feel like your eyebrows are going to burn off, it feels like your mask is just getting a little more porous, a little bit rough.
Oh, I don't like that.
Like it's not like dramatically eating away at it right now or anything, but it is definitely being affected by this.
Nim is just doing one of these.
Okay.
Like somebody farted on the school bus. Like.
I love that. What about Anu?
Mine has my hood cloak thing has a mask pulley up thing. I don't know what they're called.
Okay, a veil.
Yeah.
It's a cowl, I think. That's what that is.
So you have a cowl built into your hood, so you can just pull it up easily enough. So nobody is having to make an immediate constitution check then, since everyone's dealing with the mist somehow.
Huzzah!
Let's be quick about this, gang.
So yeah, you notice there are a number of branching paths here. And you do see that in this very first room, there is one of these statues of Sorrel embedded in the wall. And if you were to judge, you would guess that actually this was where everything stopped at one point.
So anything, like any paths that go deeper than this are new?
Newer.
Newer.
Yeah.
How many are there?
There are currently 3 branching paths. Because you use the map, you know which way leads to that shrine. You don't know where the other 2 lead, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not feeling like detours. I don't know about anybody else.
No, we are focused. We are on a mission.
Okay. So, as you go deeper and deeper into the tunnel, you do notice that there are carvings all over this wall. And does anyone read Elvish besides Anu?
Nope.
I do.
Okay. You will notice that this is...
so do I.
Oh, wow. Okay, so 3 of you can read the nursery rhyme embedded in the walls. The nursery rhyme specifically talks about how when Sorrel was a child, his brother took his ball. So Sorrel left the ball out, and on it did he fall. And that's what you've gotten so far. But it's written in a... Elvish is basically a lot longer in script, but it still has a sort of cadence and rhythm to it as you're going. And as you continue, it's talking more and more about this child Sorrel growing up, taking revenge on different people for different things that they had done that were wrong, and he was the victim, but at one point he shifted and refused to be a victim any longer. And that's when the cadence and the rhythm of the tune changes. And it starts talking about how Sorrel found new ways to take vengeance, and how his vengeance in his eyes was always right. But his vengeance in the eyes of others was not always justified. And eventually one day, Sorrel made a grave mistake. Someone took his lover, and so their life he did take. And in this, Sorrel perished, and this lesson did he learn. Vengeance must be waited, no matter how much you yearn.
I'm just working my way down the cave because like I couldn't read it, so unless somebody's saying it out loud, I don't know what's going on.
I am.
Oh, okay.
So you hear Anu reading this poem to you out loud. A ballad, and in fact, you may have even heard the tune that goes with it usually.
I'll hum that then.
Okay. And as you do, make an Arcana check.
24.
24. So you notice that as you hum, certain letters of the Elvish script in this language illuminate. Only certain ones, and they're often in the middle of words and sentences. But it's always the same ones. It's always the same sequence of 4 in a certain order.
Anyone tell me if those mean anything? Because I don't speak this.
Do we know if it means something, Stephen?
They would work out to essentially equivocally spell the word face.
Face.
Which you would notice with well, actually I don't know if you would. Make an investigation check.
Like the notes?
Investigation. Damn it. 9.
Well, Masquerade, because you as a player figured it out, yes. The notes fall on those particular words. So, like, there's an F in the word that has an F highlighted. There's an A in the one that has an A highlighted.
It's the open parts of the scale. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been too long since I've been in high school chorus.
And Masquerade, you would definitely pick up on this readily. You're used to investigating things. And you come to a large door. This door you didn't see when you went on your vision journey, but also the door may very well have been there and you just went through it when you were zooming. And you do see that here there are what looks like these huge metal tubes on either side of the door. And the door itself is barred horizontally 2 ways and vertically 2 ways.
So it's barred on our side or the other side?
It's barred on your side. It's barred 2 ways, so that there are 2 that go up and 2 that go across, and there are 8 metal tubes on either side of the door.
Are all of these bars reachable?
Yes.
Okay.
Ping FACE.
When you do, you unlock the door.
Right.
You guys just breeze through that riddle.
We'll open that up.
I'm sorry, I've been binging videos and augmented reality games all week. This week, my head was already there.
So yeah, the locks, you hear them shift and grind as these gears from the other side start opening, and you see one of the vertical bars goes up, one goes down, one of the horizontal ones goes left, the other goes right, and all of them do this simultaneously upon Masquerade hitting the notes.
Well done.
Thank you.
I give Mask a little high five.
In we go.
All right. You approach and you find yourselves now in this big open chamber. And these yellow crystals are everywhere all of a sudden. The mist is stronger here. And I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
Of course you
in
would.
In spite of their masks. You don't have disadvantage.
18.
19.
16.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Good idea.
Ooh, 21.
Nice.
All of you pass with flying colors, and no one suffers negative side effects from the mist.
Oh, good.
And you now find these large yellow crystals you would readily recognize as corrupted mana.
But of course.
Yeah, except last time I had a way to cleanse these, and I don't now. At least I don't that I know of.
Me quietly cursing that I'm not SENITA.
There is a pathway leading forward, one leading to the left, and one leading to the right.
Which way did the map show us?
To the right.
That's where I say we head.
You know where we're going.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
So as you guys make your way to the right, you notice that there are veins of this yellow acid just in the walls, almost like veins of metal. And they just flow in the cracks of the crevices and whatnot. And they're pooling everywhere that you see these pools. But there's dribbles and splashes here and there along the floor. You also start to notice long, they're almost like crystal threads. If you touch it, it feels like fiberglass. But you don't know what fiberglass is, but that's what it feels like. And it's yellow as well. And they start getting thicker and more interwoven as you continue on.
This is just lovely. You know, I used to like the color yellow once upon a time.
Just like a different shade of yellow. This is kind of a sickly yellow. I imagine that the yellow you liked was probably more sunny.
Or like cheese.
Cheese is pretty good.
Oh man, my
I'm
heart.
sorry, it's the enthusiasm with which you say that.
I also put money down that Anu was thinking of gold.
I was definitely thinking golden, but yeah.
We'll move on.
What are your passive perceptions?
Where is that on my sheet?
12.
100. No, I'm kidding. Mine's,
100.
yeah, I wish. Passive perception,
Mm-hmm.
11.
20.
Oh, there it is.
20.
13.
Anu, what's your L5C?
So, Anu, you hear chittering. But the chittering is not coming from forward. It's coming from overhead. And you look up to see these creatures. They look almost like cocoons suspended from the ceiling, wrapped in this crystal yellow color.
I'm having flashbacks.
No, this is fine. This is
I
fine.
don't receive that.
Everyone make a stealth roll for me.
Gonna use my
Oh, I'm
inspiration.
really good at that.
19.
26.
26.
High five.
Nim.
Can I take the one before I use my inspiration?
Yes.
Okay, 5.
Oh,
Okay.
So we don't get that natural one.
Okay. So you,
Nim is an indoor changeling. She's
Marissa,
wasted on this adventure.
could you
Is
please
my cloak magical? That I can give it to somebody else and just be invisible?
house cat hours.
could you please explain for us what Nim does that makes a noise?
I feel like Nim is just, kind of looking around and just looking at this yellow and thinking about cheese, because it's, she's hungry. And her foot slips just a smidgen And she says, "Ah!" It does one of those.
Okay. And when you do that, you hear what almost sounds like the sound of a torrential downpour when you're inside, as all of these cocoons start shaking just a little bit, as though disturbed, and like 2 or 3 open up to reveal that these creatures are actually spiders, but they have webbing between their legs that allows them to flap with this crystal thread as they fly overhead and exude this high-pitched screeching chitter into the blackness.
Steven, I need you to know that I love spiders. They're my favorite animal, but you just made this entirely cursed and I am freaked out right now.
And I will
Like
need
the hell.
everyone to make a wisdom saving throw. And that makes my day. Robin, you have no idea how much that makes my day.
Oh
16.
God, wisdom.
22.
16, 22.
I'm going to use an inspiration.
Okay. A new inspiration for...
8.
And what did Wisp get?
5.
Anu and Wisp, you are absolutely horrified by this sound because you've never seen anything like this before. This creature that literally glows in the dark with yellow webs that are woven between its legs. And you also notice that they have these polyp eyes all over their heads and this yellow that drips from these fangs that they have. But they don't seem to notice you. And you can continue forward.
Okay.
I'm gonna like pick up Nim and like piggyback the rest of the way down this hallway.
Okay. I need everyone to make one more stealth check, and yours, Masquerade, is made at disadvantage in exchange for Nim not having to make one.
That's probably better, honestly.
I got an 11.
17.
So you get about halfway through, and you're sneaking, and you're avoiding the acid puddles that are becoming more and more frequent on the ground as you continue through this opening that opens up in the tunnel before going into another tunnel. Just a brief little opening pocket there with these things hanging all overhead. And Anu, what do you do that makes a noise?
Bump into something because I'm looking at the ceiling while walking.
So you bump into a fairly large stone that is just sort of precariously perched on one of these ledges of these pools, and it poof and splooshes into the acid and starts sizzling loudly. And one of these creatures unfolds itself and starts flying around the chamber, chittering and screeching. And you can see now pretty clearly its mouth actually opens up 4 different ways. It opens up 2 this way and 1 this way, and it almost unhinges its jaw so that these fangs are actually on all of the different sides. And it unleashes this loud screech. And I need all of you to roll initiative.
You would.
Yep.
Turning
Damn
my
it.
whole head around like an owl, like seriously.
9.
8.
Do you need us all to say that again?
Yes, I do. Because everyone said it all at once. I'm going to pull my notes up real quick. I really hope you rolled well.
I got a 21.
All right. Anu rolled well with a 21.
9.
Wisp has a 9. Does Masquerade have 8?
Yes.
Nim?
17.
Okay.
I don't like rolling well on initiative.
Okay. So Anu, you are first. What do you do?
I'm sorry, this... Swear to God, I'm gonna beat that boys up. Anyway, he leaves my door open every time. And it lets the cold air out. I mean, in.
I love the horns on this.
Mm-hmm, I do too.
Okay, is it, so it's just one?
Yep, just one right now.
Oh, there's those words right now.
Can I, I'm gonna try doing, I don't know if I want to risk magic in this room right now.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Can it see me?
Well, you're guessing based on the fact it's using echolocation and swirling over you guys, probably.
Alright. I'm gonna take aim and shoot at it.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
16.
That hits.
Yeah. Alright. 1d6 plus 2. I have a d6 here somewhere. Ugh. Gotcha. Okay.
Seven. Total? With your sneak attack and everything? Oh, wait, no, you don't get sneak attack. You're right,
I was like, I don't get sneak attack.
I don't know what I'm thinking. So, okay, 7 damage. And when you fire on this creature, it shrieks. And it is its turn. And I need for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need Masquerade to make a dexterity saving throw.
Of course. Oh, 11. I'm actually good at that. I just rolled abysmally poorly.
Okay. So, this creature, as it's flying, it does this almost aerial flip, and when it does, its abdomen thrusts to the front almost like a hornet's would, and from its spinnerets fires this yellow glowing orb of silk that splats and hits you on your leg. You are now restrained, and you take 2 acid damage.
Bless you.
And you will continue taking acid damage from this thing until it is removed from you. Bless you.
Jeez, thank you.
And you are restrained to the ground now. And that is
yes.
its first thing. And now it's going to do a dive bomb on you again. I guess it's just hunting you right now. That is 17 versus your armor class.
Thank you, Rowan.
Robin, does a 17 hit your armor?
Oh. Yes.
Okay. So it is going to bite you for 7 piercing. And
Actually, can I use my reaction to cast shield?
you absolutely can.
And since that's an abjuration, I can get my temporary hit point ward bubble thing.
Yep. So, what does it look like when you cast shield?
I mean, just me being surrounded by a glittering golden force field.
Okay. Oh, and Carowin said they think these things are grotesque. That makes my night. So yes, you actually do not get hit then, as it lunges for you, and this huge 4-petaled mouth just almost suctions onto this solid light in front of you, and it like screeches and scratches against it, almost creating like this reverb of nails on a chalkboard as it's like thrashing around before it flies away and it's going to try somebody else. And that is its turn. Nim, You are up now, ma'am. What are you going to do?
Okay, so the creature is in the air, right?
Yes, it's flying around you guys and hunting you.
But it's not like anywhere I could reach. Like I couldn't jump up and like punch it or anything like that, right?
You know what? Let me do a happenstance roll. There is in fact a ledge that you could theoretically run up, jump off, and try to deck the thing if you want.
What kind of throw would I mean, what kind of roll would I have to make that happen?
Athletics or acrobatics? Your
Okay.
choice. The DC for that is going to be a 13.
Nim is gonna try it.
Okay.
Because she's mad that it went after Mask. So she's gonna pull out a dagger, and she wants to make this jump situation. And okay, come on. Shit. 11.
11. Okay, you didn't fail by 5 or more, which is really good, so you don't risk falling in one of the vats of acid.
Okay.
So you jump and you manage to kind of dodge roll away, but you just whiff. It just flies out of the way. Just your timing was a little bit off there, but you still you definitely had a chance at it. And you could maybe have a chance at it again if you wanted.
Oh, again during this turn?
Or yes, cuz it's not a big ledge. This is not a huge cavern. So sure. You have 2 attacks, right?
I think so.
You can use the rest of your movement to do it if you want to use all your movement to do it.
Nim's gonna try again, because Nim ain't a
Okay.
quitter, even though she should most of the time.
Okay.
18!
18 will hit it.
Okay, so that's 1d4 plus 2.
You really want me to beat you up?
5 damage.
5 damage.
I'll
Okay,
beat you up.
describe what happens as you bloody this thing.
So Nim jumps up there, and Nim thinks she looks really cool, but honestly, it's probably, for those watching, not like the most graceful situation. So there's the jump, and Nim has the dagger, and right into do spiders have a thoracic cavity? I don't know. Into the belly situation a little bit, and like as Nim is coming back down, the dagger slides a little bit and kind of leaves a big gaping hole.
Okay, and when you do, this black ichor just erupts from the wound.
Damn it.
And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You would. Okay. This way. 18.
You're good.
Okay, good.
You've expected this from these things. Like, you've fought zombies and whatnot. You know that there are undead creatures that are often around yellow crystals, and this is just not a great situation. So you know to keep your eyes and mouth closed when you do this. So, Wisp, we're at you now. What are you doing?
I'm going to say that's a great idea and repeat the move that Nim pulled.
Okay.
And I'm also going to designate anew the dance part.
Okay.
So, what are the athletics or acrobatics?
Yes.
That's a nat 20.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'm going to give you advantage on your attack roll.
Okay, so now is it roll to hit?
It is roll to hit.
Roll to hit.
So that was to basically be able to pull off the maneuver safely.
Yeah. Okay, so hold on. Now, question, because you haven't given me stats for Charlie yet.
Mm-hmm.
What's my plus to hit with him?
You get a +1 in addition to your normal bonuses. And that's all you get to know for now because you haven't unlocked the thing, so I'm not giving it to you yet on D&D Beyond.
Fair enough. So, yeah, I'm going to swing with Charlie. That's a 21.
All right. So as you swing with him, you kind of hear him in the back of your mind go, "All right, we got this." And you bash the thing and describe how you absolutely eradicate this creature.
Oh, I'm bisecting it.
Okay.
It is in two halves.
All right. So you saw what Nim did. She kind of pioneered the way for you. You run up and you raise Charlie. You bring him down as you hear his encouragement in your mind, and you slice clean through the thing, and it falls splat. Masquerade, I'm sorry. You are just stuck there being restrained right now, but you can try to escape if you want.
Can I Misty Step out of it?
You can just Misty Step out of it and not have to roll.
I do that.
All right, you Misty Step out of it. You don't have to roll. And it didn't get a chance to alert any more of them. Because you guys dealt with it so quickly. Because that was its end of round special thing.
Absolutely impolite.
Yeah,
Okay.
we rock this.
So we're out of combat then.
You are out of combat again.
Ooh.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So I just now figured out why all of the spells that I've been taking when I've been leveling up haven't been appearing on my sheet, because I have to actually hit the prepare button.
Mm-hmm.
So I have done that now, so now I can see where my spells are.
That's nice. That's very good.
Can you tell I've never played a wizard on D&D Beyond before?
I haven't either, so like... So you're learning more than me. So yeah.
All right, back. Follow the path and stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Onward!
Let's do
You
it.
go onward. And you eventually find another door. This door is not locked, but it is not open. It is 20 feet tall and 40 feet wide. So it's massive.
What's it made of?
Wood.
I'll knock shave and a haircut on it.
Okay. You hear nothing. No response. Just an echo.
I'll knock the 2 bits part of it just to finish it off, because otherwise it's gonna bug me.
And yeah, you just hear it echoes resounding back through the cavern the way you came.
Well, whatever's inside definitely knows we're here now. We might as well open it.
It was gonna know as soon as we got it open anyway. I don't think something this big opens silently.
So I am going to need a strength check, athletics, for whoever tries to open this door.
And I'm at the front here, so I'm assuming that's me.
Yeah. Well, it'd be worthless if Nim did it, so.
It'd be way less embarrassing for you to do it than me.
With athletics, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, fuck. That's a 7.
So
I
you try. It doesn't budge super well. You can like, and it just kind of grinds a little bit open, but not even enough for you to put a hand through.
I'm gonna roll my sleeves up and make an attempt.
Okay. Make an attempt.
10.
So you also pull, and you get just a little more open. You can put your hand through now, even up to your elbow.
Ooh, Steven.
Yes.
I have that collapsible pike. I want to use it as a lever. Simple science.
Okay. All right. You can absolutely do that. So I'm going to give you advantage on another athletics roll.
Excellent. 16.
Nice.
So, yeah, I don't know if you can hear that or not.
No.
It was supposed to be a door creaking open. Oh, it's at 0%. That's why. Hold on. Why is it set so low? There we go.
I heard it that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brains over brawn.
Yes.
And Wisp is just gonna kind of mutter to themselves, I loosened it for you.
And you open up the door, and you now see the chamber. Yellow crystals hanging from the ceiling and everywhere around. The mist very thick in here. But you also notice black ivy creeping everywhere on the walls. Something that the map didn't show you. You see a blood splatter on a runic circle on the platform before, like immediately in front of the statue of Crom. What do you do?
Is there any chance I would know what the black ivy is?
Be almost impossible, but I'll give you a nature or arcana check.
I'll try
history.
arcana. Ooh, history. Yes, I will try for history. Damn. That's a 15.
You know that you've heard that black ivy is maybe an omen.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Damn it. So annoyed with that roll. I've history is my highest plus that in performance.
No, I hate when you have your highest and it's like, by the way, you got a 2.
Yeah, that's pretty close to what happened.
Is there anything that we're seeing now that is reminiscent of other stuff we've dealt with? I mean, there is, but it's is there anything we're noticing in this chamber that, I'm not asking a very good question.
Make an investigation check with advantage. 19. You see there's carvings all over this wall, and most of them are covered by the black ivy, but one carving in particular that catches your attention is a familiar hut that you saw in an illusory dream not terribly long ago. It's Baba's hut.
Did Nim see that, or?
Yeah, all of you saw it because all of you went to the wild and saw that at some point. So there's a statue of Crom.
Nim was the only one who never went because Nim doesn't have magic.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. So you might not know.
Nim's gonna be like, look at this house over here.
Okay. So then the rest of us can recognize it.
Okay, yeah, because you actually didn't go. I forgot because you don't have magic.
Didn't we end up there that one time that we were having the weird nightmares and things, and we were told that we couldn't be fucked with?
Oh yes, you did. You did. Yep, that's what I was thinking of. So yeah, you have seen it.
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay. Sorry, there's too many things because there's when we've been pulled into the
game
wild.
A long time.
It's been a whole thing.
Yeah.
Are you here, Baba?
And you say that, and you feel the best description I can have, and it's gonna sound really weird. It's almost like when someone brushes the back of your neck with their long fingernails, but it's in the back of your throat.
Ah! I hate
that name.
Well, that's good to know.
You also see what looks like a spiral tower with a castle of domes surrounding it, also carved into the wall in a totally different place.
Can I take a history roll to see if I know what that is?
Sure.
28.
This is what the Minotaurs believe is the dwelling place of MARISA. MARISA is their ancient hero who ate their god and took its magic and freed their people from enslavement.
You gotta go to bed soon. You know that, right?
I know.
Okay.
I didn't write SENITA.
What? Minotaurs? Well, we know that they're around here because Charlie had his potion because he had his friend.
His client.
Yeah. So did the elves co-opt a Minotaur's thing?
It's also possible that this place was used by more than just the elves.
Possibly. Anything else of note on the walls?
I won't be able to.
That isn't covered.
Things are expensive.
I will let you make an investigation check, but you have to choose what you're investigating. You can investigate the connection between the different imageries, or you can investigate for more imagery. And if someone else wants to investigate the other, they can.
I will investigate the connection.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, then I will do the other because I feel like if we look at more imagery, it might actually give us the answer as well.
Okay.
That's a nat 20, by the way.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. So.
I just want to investigate something completely different now.
Okay. So Wisp, we'll start with you.
Okay.
As you're thinking, you realize that in lore, in myth, there's sort of these through lines of different characters that it doesn't matter what people they come from. Doesn't matter what race, doesn't matter what ethnicity. There's these through lines of the three great evils of the world. One was Crom, the world eater, the hungerer. The other, Baba, hubris itself.
Didn't we kill her?
The keeper of the deep seas.
We killed a different hag with a connection to her.
And the last was Zeal, master of the skies. Zeal had enslaved the Minotaur people. And because you got your nat 20, had enslaved the Minotaur people because Zeal could never touch the ground. Zeal was said to be the great hater, the keeper of hatred. So you have hubris, hatred, and hunger, the three sins, and three evils. And Maris was his name first. He ate Zeal to become Marisil.
Okay.
These are all the three evils represented in some capacity. Though you're not still sure where Marisil's connection to the other two would be if he ate Zeal.
Okay.
And what did Masquerade get for their investigation?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You find imagery of the elven pantheon along the baseboards. If you move the ivy, you see imagery of the Octheon, the human gods. And as you continue peeling away ivy, you can only get so far up, but you start seeing representations of the different races, religions, all here, and all seemingly tied somehow. You're not sure because it's hard to interpret with all these carvings to these three great evils.
To be honest, I'm starting to feel like it's just not safe to worship anything and we should all be atheistic. And I say this as I'm like looking at these carvings of gods and just blaspheming and not even caring. But also, you know, like we've spoken to her a couple of times, and like, because I'm not gonna say her name again after the throat thing, that was pretty weird, but like, you know, she does some creepy shit, but she's always dealt with us fairly, you know. I'm not entirely sure I buy that she's actually evil. Like maybe a real dark gray.
Definitely not a friend. I think we can all agree on that one.
So, what do we want to do? Do we want to approach the statue? Or
Oh well.
I
What
don't
are
know.
our
There's got to
other
be something we
options?
can do here. This is where it started, so this is where it has to end.
so question, Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it says on the spell, but like for your purposes, can greater restoration only be cast on creatures or people, or can it be cast on objects or things?
It can be cast on objects or things that contain or imprison creatures as well.
Okay.
Is that a hint?
And anyone who wants to can make any other rolls if they want to try to look for more clues, investigation, perception if you're looking for generalized things.
Okay. Wait. Okay, investigation or perception. I'm gonna
If
do
you
perception.
speak Elven, you don't have disadvantage on this set.
Yay! Steven, do I speak Elven?
I don't know. Do you elf speak Elven?
Oh no, my dice fell.
I mean, you might be adopted by humans and raised by humans and
Made
never
love
seen an elf in
stripping.
your life, except for you.
I got a 25.
25.
We are blowing all our good rolls on the
So-
investigation. Once combat starts, we're going to be screwed.
Anew. Because you speak Elven and you understand the nuances of the way the language is constructed in an artistic form, you recognize that this is arranged in a way to explain how the three great evils were sealed in the wild. This story talks about how all of the gods of the different peoples at one point came together before they were gods and imprisoned the three great evils in the wild.
I'm sorry, before they were gods, you say?
That's what Anu can find out in the writings.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Are we
Something-
catching a whiff of apotheosis here?
Something about the sealing of the evils and the wild itself either made or allowed them to claim to be gods.
This is just making me less and less pious. Everything I hear, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay. Do we need just a smidgen more information? Does Nim need to investigate a smidgen?
You can investigate a smidgen if you want.
Okay. Natural 20.
Nim,
Or 23, I suppose. But yeah.
this is where you find the thing that ties it all together.
Why, yes, I do.
In the old times, before gods, before civilization as you knew it, there were just creatures. You see this poem. It talks about the creatures living separate and not in harmony, but as enemies of one another. Their only unifying force being their common enemy in the three great evils. Ages and ages before time record passed, where you would have Baba rule, then Zeal, then Crom, in a cycle, constantly cycling, each one taking their turn while the others plotted and schemed of how to overthrow them. And during one of these shifts, one of these changes, the people who came to be known as gods of the different races, magic users, powerful magic users came together and they constructed the division between the wild and the material world. They locked away the myths. They locked away the legends. And they only allowed it to leak through in little ways. Ways that they were able to codify with rules and laws and strictures related to magic.
Huh. What a coincidence that it's considered heretical to cast powerful magic. How convenient for them. I'm so mad. That's me in the corner.
That's me in the spotlight. Okay.
See that?
And so what you are finding is it seems that somehow the division of the material world and the wild sealed away the evils. And while they still leak to each other, hence gates, hence whatever, they're largely separated. And that seems to be sort of the theme of this whole story in this area. You still haven't really connected how MARISA ties into it, but maybe because he ate the great evil that enslaved his people, he's somehow tied to it.
I want to touch the Hilton Charlie and ask him if his Minotaur friend ever mentioned anything about Maris Seal, or if he ever picked anything up on that.
Let's see.
I don't know, pillow talk. Why not?
You know, I only heard the name in reference to a symbol that they wore.
It's gonna be this.
She said that the Minotaur's crest for their people was made based on the sigil that was once used to oppress them. Reclaimed, she said. But I didn't think too much of it. She said something about a Merizeel, but I wasn't paying too much attention to that. It sounded like a weird lady.
Fair enough, Charlie. Thank you.
I wonder who.
I'm still trying to put together in my head, like that's lore, that's background, that's. But like, what happened here, and how do we undo it?
Right.
So, I'm gonna level with you guys. You've been participating in a complex skill challenge up to this point, and you've been totally acing it. But you still have 3 rolls left to make, because this is not a boss fight. This is a boss situation encounter, basically.
Okay, so
Okay.
does that mean more investigation?
So
Right.
at this point, I need an Arcana. I need an Investigation. I need a Perception. And then I'm going to need a saving throw.
Okay.
I mean, I could take the Arcana.
I have +5 to investigation.
Is Arcana investigation.
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
I have +3 on perception, but my dice is hot.
Nanu has insane perception.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So does that mean you want Nim to make your saving throw?
What kind of saving throw are we doing here, Cam? Let's.
It depends on how you do with these last 3 rolls.
Okay.
All right, if it's intelligence or charisma or even wisdom, we're probably okay. I shouldn't have said that out loud to Steven just now.
So
but
here's the deal. If you make 1 roll and no others, the saving throw will be wisdom. If you make 2 rolls, the saving throw is intelligence. If you make 3 rolls, the saving throw is charisma. And if you don't make any of them, the saving throw is constitution.
Okay.
I mean, odds are we're probably going to make at least one of these, and those were the 3 savings that were decent for you, right, Nim?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah. I think that'll-
Investigate.
So,
17.
yeah.
17 will succeed. So as you're investigating, you find yet more carvings. These carvings all sort of follow a trail. It's like this whole room is telling a story. And the story goes back to the center rune on the platform. And you start to realize that with the magical runes and sigils and stories all sort of combining together at this point in a very bardic sort of way, this room is designed to grant wishes.
All right.
But
So,
it takes a price.
Arcana.
Okay, Arcana. Let's see what you got.
23.
23 succeeds. So you're at an intelligence saving throw at this point, Nim.
That's good. Good.
And your 23, Wisp, will tell you that this place was warped and corrupted to change the nature of the wishing and the granting of the wishes at some point later in its making. This is a historically significant place that was perverted. And the source of the main perversion is this statue of Crom. There is a magical energy coming from it that is directly impacting everything else in the area. And you can also determine the nature of the sacrifice that is needed for a wish to be granted is a blood sacrifice.
Of course it is.
That's why there's blood on the ground.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
I knew you're up for perception.
Oh, yay. All right.
Yeah.
15.
15 is exactly what you need to make it. You find a single phrase. It's like every one of these components comes together in the middle, and it's like right there in the middle, spelled out plainly, is a simple line of text. It's like a little block of text. Everything comes back to desire, to hunger. Everything has a price. And wishing is only undone by wishing.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's what you find. And Nim, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Yeah.
10.
10.
Oh.
That's with a +6.
You see the... does anybody want to use their inspiration to help her here?
Yeah,
Yes.
I need some
Have it.
No, I haven't used mine. Take mine.
Okay, good, because I used mine on a bullshit throw.
That's why I was willing to fail something earlier.
15?
15. Okay. You see that the ivy starts growing around you. It's weird because it's almost encroaching on your very will. The knowledge that this is happening. It's like something's trying to creep up into your mind. As you see the patches of bare stone that had the carvings that you found are covered by more black ivy. The black ivy continues creeping along the floor as it grows up the statue. And everything, the air itself and the roiling yellow mist start to ripple just a little as the roiling mist dissipates. Until it's gone entirely. And you find yourselves still in the chamber. But the crystals here are not crystals at all, but just stone. You are in the same location, but the crystals are not crystals. The ivy is everywhere.
How did it mean that I made you drunk?
And when you look out, you realize you are no longer in a massive sprawling dungeon, but instead you are standing shaded by a shallow cavern of a shrine to Crom, in a place you do not recognize, in a place that those of you with magic can sense. Nim has now been transported with you for the first time to the wild. And that is where we're going to cut it.
Mm-hmm. God damn it,
Like
Steven.
it here. I don't like it. Let's no.
So yeah, you
Dare you,
guys
Steven? How
are
dare
in the
you?
wild one more time. And you do level up. So everyone has leveled up at this point.
Woo!
Yes.
Yep. And that is where we're going to cut it. So thank you everyone for watching. This was a blast. Thank you guys. You are amazing players. You make the story. You make it everything. And until next time, everyone, tell your story your way. Bye.